Hey everyone, Liz with 2Z's here and welcome back to my channel. First off, I want to start off by apologizing for the late upload. I got sick earlier this week and it basically just threw everything off. So here we are with a later than normal upload. So for today's video, I wanted to do a story time for you guys. And before I get started, I just want to say, I'm not going to be using anybody's real names besides Blaine and my own. And in addition to that, if you know who I'm talking about, I have, no hate towards them, don't harass them, leave them be. I'm here just telling my personal experience and just leave them alone. It's as simple as that. I'm not looking for any trouble. It's just a really funny fucking story to tell. So everything started about 11 months ago when Blaine and I first started dating. Right before we started dating, he and I were both in separate relationships. He was with this really toxic girl, we'll call her Sarah, and him and Sarah they were on and off at the time for a little over a year. He kept breaking up with her, on and off 2 or 3 times within that time frame until it really ended. And anytime he'd break up with her, they lived together. She had moved into his trailer that he had at the time. And so he'd say, hey, I'm done with this, we're over. And she'd never leave. She would never move out. And so they'd be broken up, but she'd still be there. And she'd always throw in his face, I don't have anywhere to go. I'm going to be homeless because of you. I don't have anywhere to go. And so, she just wouldn't leave. And then they'd end up getting right back together because how do you break up with someone who, won't let you break up with them? Also, I would like to add that she never even helped out with bills. I've lived with 3 other people since I've moved out of my parents years ago. And anytime I've had a roommate, it was always me living with whoever I was dating at the time. But regardless, it was always expected that we both pay half of the bills. And with Sarah, Blaine was paying all the bills and she would pay the $20 internet bill. He paid rent, he paid electric, he paid the gas. And so he essentially never really had any money on his own. You know how it is living paycheck to paycheck, middle class, is what it is. And she'd use all of her free money to get her hair done, get her nails done, buy herself new clothes. It's just ridiculous. I just think it's really disrespectful, and it really played into the whole toxicity of their relationship. And don't get me wrong, Blaine's told me where he himself was toxic in the relationship. Let's be honest, nobody's perfect. I know I've never been perfect in any relationship I've been in. I'm not saying I was always the one who was wrong, but it takes 2 people, right? There's never one side to every story. Anyways, Blaine and I worked together as managers at a pet store, and we had actually met a year prior to this. Back in 2017, I was invited to his grad party, actually. It was a grad party for him and his cousin, who I worked with at Walmart at this time. And I only knew his cousin, and it was kind of really awkward because it was a little more of a family thing. There was a lot of their family there. And it wasn't until later, after I'd already been there 2 hours, that some of the friends started to come. But these are all people I didn't even know because I didn't go to their school, and I had graduated 2 years before anyways. So, and I remember at this time that I did have a crush on Blaine. I think I had just started dating someone. We had only been together 2 weeks at this point, but it was after a major breakup I had had. So I was in that stage where I didn't know what I wanted, and I was really confused and going through heartbreak. And I just remember meeting Blaine for the first time, I instantly thought he was really attractive. And at this time, he actually hadn't come out as trans yet either. So I was into him before I even knew him as Blaine. And just saw him at that party. didn't see him until a year later when we both started at the pet store at the same time. I got hired in, he got transferred in from another store, but this was his original store before he had transferred and then transferred back. And but we started like the same exact week. And when the manager had introduced us, I was like, oh my God, like I actually already know him, and like he remembered me, and I thought it was really cool. I was really pumped to be working with him again. I still like was attracted to him. I still thought he was really, really cute. But we were both in relationships like at this point in time, so like, you know, like just friends. It was nothing more than that. Never really talked to him. I like low-key thought he hated me for the longest time. Everyone thought he hated me. I guess that's his way of flirting. I have no idea. So a few months after we started working together last summer, it started to get really obvious that like both of our relationships that we were in with other people were going downhill really fast, and not because of one another. Like him and Sarah, they were having their own issues, and like I was having my own issues in like my relationship, and I ended that pretty quickly. And then Blaine had also ended his relationship with Sarah, and around this time last year is actually when Blaine had come out as trans, and everyone started, you know, associating him as, you know, him and he and Blaine, and it's just normal. And I believe I was like the second or third person he even came out to, all within like a couple day span, and I instantly had nothing but like unconditional love and support for him. And I felt like honored that like I was one of the first people he was even comfortable like coming out to. It meant a lot. And he had like, so we started to get really close, and like we were talking like every day. I mean, we worked together too, and we both worked full time, and we had to help one another because both of our managers were going through, you know, some shit at the time. So like we really had to step it up and be at the store like all day every day. And I don't know, I guess it just allowed us to like be closer, and we had a lot to like talk and connect about. And he was telling me how like his relationship, how awful it was, and I had told him like, look, like if you're not happy, like, you know, like you got to do what you got to do. And he basically had told me the same. And so he came out to Sarah as being trans, and she was not supportive at all. And that was basically the straw that broke the camel's back. That was it. So Blaine and Sarah break up, and Blaine and I decide that like we want to start dating. We were really into each other, like why not? And so Sarah had to leave, and like I kind of moved in, and we were only like together in that trailer for like a month until we got our own place together, where we're currently at, our little home. And so getting Sarah out, this is where the story, like this is the bulk of our story here. So she didn't really have a lot of things that she needed to move out, like mostly like clothes and like small like junk memorabilia. Not like junk, like I'm not saying her stuff is junk, but you know, like not like, oh, I've got a bed to move and a couch to move and a flat screen to move, like all of your furniture and stuff like that. And mind you, they did have a dog together. Blaine had like his own like animals, like dogs and cats, like before they started dating, and then like she really wanted a pit bull, so like they got a dog together. And if I'm right, I'm pretty sure all that information was in Blaine's name, but like don't quote me on that. And basically they broke up, and he's like, you have to get your stuff out. And she's like, oh, well, I've got nowhere to go. And he's like, well, you got to figure it out, get your stuff out, bye. So she's like, okay, well, I have someone who's going to help me get my stuff. It's only going to be like this day, this time. And Blaine had to work. I had to work, but she doesn't know my schedule. It didn't even matter at the time. But like basically there was nobody to like house sit for him. And he's like, you know what? Like I don't have anything to steal. Like what's she going to like, you know what I mean? Like there's not anything that I feel that she's going to take that like I'm going to be upset about. Like what's she going to take, my clothes? Like that was the whole thought process. And so, you know, she's supposed to take her stuff, leave her key on the counter, like never see him, talk to him again, like bye. And she came to the house, took her stuff, put the key on the counter, and left. And Blaine and I came home from work later that day, and she took all of his shit. She took all of his shit. Like, she took, like, extra, like, spare money he had laying around because, like, I don't know, just, like, spare dollars, change, like, on the counter, on the TV stand, on the nightstand. She took his furniture, not all of it. She took a really nice coffee table that the TV was on, actually. Like, 2 end tables, I think there was 2, in the living room, and they all matched, like, that coffee table. It was, like, a whole set. And she took his couch, and she took his weed. Right? He was pissed. And I don't blame him. Like, I was angry for him, too. But I was like, you know what? Like, at the same time, he didn't care. Because he's like, she's out of my life. Like, she's done. Like, I don't ever have to talk to her. I don't ever have to see her again. Like, whatever. She can have that shit as long as she, like, leaves me alone. And it was an ugly breakup for sure. Like, she didn't take it well. And not only that, but, like, he had proof that, like, she had been cheating on him and, like, talking to other people that she said she wasn't talking to. And he had proof that she had, like, gone here and done this, gone there and done that. And it was part of the reason they had, like, split up and gotten together in the past. But again, they were both, like, shitty to one another. He knows he wasn't perfect. But, like, point blank, like, he was hurt too, and he was done. But so with him, like, actually breaking up with her this time, and, like, I was in the picture, and, like, he was like, you really have to get your stuff. It's not like she could just stay around like she did before. So, you know, it is what it is. She really started posting, like, shit on Facebook, like, directed towards him, and, like, fuck him, basically, which is to be expected. Like, who doesn't? Most people talk shit on who they break up with, ugly or not. And all of, like, his friends and family members can still see it, and they're, like, telling him, like, oh, like, Sarah said this about you, Sarah said that about you, and he's just like, whatever, like, I want everybody, like, he had to tell people, I don't care, like, stop updating me on her, like, I could care less. Blocked her on everything. I was okay with it, like, I wasn't friends with her on anything, like, I didn't know her aside from her being, like, his ex. And, she was also, like, another thing she always did when they were together and then after they, like, broke up is she would always text Blaine's little sister. And she's a couple years younger than Blaine. So she's, like, 14. I think she just turned 15 at this time. And, like, the whole time, like, whatever issues they had, she'd be, like, texting her this and texting her that, and I'm like, that's just not normal. Like, if I get in a fight with my significant other, I don't want them messaging my siblings like, oh, like, this is what happened, like, I just think that's weird. Maybe that's just me. And not only that, but, like, she's younger, and I'm not calling her a kid, but at the same time, like, you guys are grown-ass adults, like, you, like, live on your own. Why are you, like, she's in, like, middle school, like, freshman year at this point, if that, and I don't know. I just thought it was inappropriate. And she's still doing that, like, after they broke up. And it got to the point where, like, Blaine had to ask his sister, like, can you, like, I need you to stop talking to her. Like, it's weird. I don't like it. You don't need to be talking to her. And, like, his sister was fine with that. He's like, oh, yeah, I don't really care. Like, works for me if you don't want me talking to her. Man, what else? Okay. So she moves out, and we find this new place we want to move into. And we're scheduled to move, you know, like, it really wasn't even, like, a month of me living there, a month and a half, maybe. And so we have to start cleaning out, like, what stuff he has. He still has, like, you know, his TV, his PlayStation. Excuse me. I had a bunch of my own furniture from, like, my apartment I was moving out of, because, like, I had an apartment with an ex. He wanted to keep the apartment and the dog, and then when Blaine broke up with Sarah, she took their pit bull and all that furniture and stuff. But, like, it is what it is. So, like, he took, like, what was his that we wanted in our new place. And, like, I still have, like, a couch and another TV, and I have a whole bedroom set and kitchen stuff. Like, we met in the middle, took what we wanted. So we're cleaning out stuff at Blaine's place, right? And he's like, oh, I wonder if she took her grandma. And I was like, what? What do you mean? What are you talking about? Like, that doesn't make sense. And he explained to me how her grandma meant a lot to her, and her grandma got cremated. She had her grandma's ashes, and they were in this little black pouch. And when she had first received them, I guess she just, like, tossed them on the counter, And like that was that. Like grandma chilled on the counter for a fat minute. And it got to the point where like Blaine had 3 cats in that trailer, and they'd all like want to be up on the counter, and they're like, pat, pat, let me hit this little black bag. And like grandma's ashes would like poof, like up out of that like little Satan bag. I hope you know what I mean. And it's like, hey, like you need to put this somewhere. And she put it up in the cupboard, like in their kitchen, like right above the table. And we start cleaning stuff out, like when we're trying to move. And he goes, oh, I wonder if she took her grandma. And, we're cleaning out the cupboards. We're like, oh, no, like, I don't see her. Like, she must have. Like, if she could remember to steal all your furniture, like, let's hope she took grandma. And we're, like, pulling, like, boxes out, like, old boxes of mac and cheese and cake mix and, like, all that junk you put in a pantry. And a lot of it was expired. Like, we found stuff from, like, 2013. I was pissed. And all of a sudden, like, pulling something off the shelf, something falls and hits the counter. And it's a little black bag. This bitch left grandma. She's got a tattoo for her grandma who passed. Like, she said, like, she acts like she cares about her grandma so much. And she probably really does. But, like, the disrespect. And the fact that she had moved out, like, a month and a half ago now at this point. And did not realize she didn't have, like, something that should be like in like a prized possession almost. Like, hey, like you find my grandma? Nothing. I could not believe it. I'm cracking jokes left and right because like I can't even imagine. Like I didn't really grow up with grandparents. They had all passed when I was, either not born or like a toddler. So like I don't know. And I don't have any animals, ashes, anything like that. Like my cat's old, she's getting there. Like I haven't lost anything in my life yet. So I don't understand, grief and loss, and like that's a different type of sadness. And I know like when my cat passes, like I want her ashes. That means a lot to me. I would never ever like leave those somewhere. Like I plan to do like an ashes to glass type thing, like put my cat in a ring, like use her ashes for a tattoo. Like I want to do something meaningful. And this bitch left grandma in a pouch next to some expired mac and cheese. Oh my, listen. So, okay, at this point, a couple weeks, no, maybe like 2 weeks after Blaine and Sarah broke up, she had like friended me on Facebook, and I was like, oh, should I accept this? And he's like, yeah. So I accepted it. She messaged me, and I'll put the screenshots up. So like, yeah, you can read it. She messaged me and goes, I just want to talk because I'm sure this is true that you and Blaine are dating now and he's my ex, and I need closure, and I just want you to be honest with me. Like, I know you understand because you're a girl too, but while we were dating, was there something going on between you two? And then, hold on, before I like read the rest of that, she was also like coming into the pet store since her and Blaine broke up, and she would like come in with his other ex. We'll call her Jennifer, and like they acted like they're all buddy, and they would just like walk around the store looking for him, and like he'd have to go in the back, and this was like an every other day thing. We even told our manager about it, and sometimes they wouldn't even buy anything. And like one time they came in and they were asking our cashiers, like, is he seeing somebody else? Like, tell us. And they came in and like wandered the store for, I swear, 20 minutes. And then they just like grabbed a tiny like $2 box of milk bones and like left. And I'm pretty damn sure you could have bought those milk bones at Walmart for cheaper. Like, just annoying. Just like, it was very childish, and like that's why I couldn't believe like this was happening. Like I'm damn near 22 years old, and like this is how y'all want to act. Anyways, so I replied to her, Blaine and I were just friends while you two were together. Truthfully, that's all I intended for at first. Not that I'm upset we're dating now. I had a crush on him since I met him over a year ago at his grad party. I love him with all my heart. Nothing happened between us until he broke up with you. Hope that's the closure you needed so you can leave him alone. I don't know why you care or need closure in the first place. Stalking him or I at the pet store isn't the way to get it. Excuse me. Asking our cashiers if he's seeing someone else, grow up. How old are you, 12? Oh, I was pissed. You really needed those milk bones the other day when we all know you could have gotten them at Walmart for probably a cheaper price too. It's been a month and a half. Move on for your own good. He's sick of you trying to harass him any way you can. He's more than happy to block you on anything and everything. And who are you and why are you harassing Hope too? She's 14. Like, who needs to bring a 14-year-old into their relationship? Not only that, but do you ever think of how horrible you were to Blaine? He's so shook. I treat him like a king, as my equal. I can't wait until we move into our own house together in less than 2 weeks. How did you have the nerve to live with him and not pay half of the bills? I'm just in disbelief at everything he's told me. I've lived on my own almost the last 4 years, and anytime someone's lived with me, they paid their half like an adult. I'm happy I'm here to grow and prosper with Blaine. He deserves the world, and I plan on giving that to him for once. You know, he really opened up to me about the whole trans thing before he really opened up to you about it. We'd talk for hours about it and the future and how he deserves to be happy and feel comfortable in his own body despite what anyone else says or thinks. And he told me that when he told you... Oh, shit, I lost my place. Oh, when he told you if he had bottom surgery... Wait. Oh, and he told me when he told you, you said you couldn't accept him if he had bottom surgery. That's just wrong. It was just a thought for that surgery at the time, and you were so quick to shut it down. You should love and support who you're with. I hope this whole thing helps you grow and mature as a person. I hope knowing all of this... you get your, I'm horrible, I hope this gives you your closure to move on, girl. I guess in a way, he did leave you for me. Truthfully, I won't lie about it, and I'm glad he did. You pushed him away, and I was there when he needed someone. I was his love and support when all you did was tear him down. So in a non-fucked up way, thank you for that. And she goes, I'll let you find out the hard way. And I say, works for me. I have more screenshots, but we'll leave that at that. Sorry for my horrible reading capabilities. Fucking, like, listen, that's the whole reason that I wanted to get into YouTube. I want to get better with my speech. I want to get better talking in front of a camera. I have a horrible stutter sometimes. I'm working on it. Thank you for working with me. And so that had happened. And that was probably a week and a half before, moved into a new place, found grandma's ashes. And so here we are. Grandma's ashes are in my hand in a little black sack. And I decide to, let her know, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I can't throw grandma away. So I was like, I have to like message her and like let her know. So I said, hey, this is awkward, but we have your grandma. When would you like to get her? And she goes, what? And I sent her a picture of grandma. And I said, is this your grandma? Yeah. When do you want to pick her up? And this bitch says, soon. I said, okay, well, we move tomorrow morning. I can drop it off at your work sometime. I knew where she worked, because he had told me, and I assumed she didn't move jobs in a month. Let me know what works for you. She goes, this is awkward, but I work 6 to 2, so yeah, you can drop it off tomorrow at my work. And I said, okay, sounds good. She goes, I can't tonight, or then she just says some dumb shit. I can't tonight or I would. I'm not even near you. I'm in Vienna with my boyfriend. But I appreciate you not throwing her away. She thought I'd throw away her grandma? OMG, don't worry about it. I wouldn't disrespect your grandma like that. I'll stop at Dunkin' tomorrow. She goes, well, I appreciate that. Let me know when you're there. I'll meet you outside or something, but it has to be after 10. And I said, okay. She says, thank you again. I appreciate it. So, we go to her work the next day, agreed upon time. Blaine, it's one of those Dunkins that's like connected to a gas station. So like Blaine's getting some gas and, I run inside because like I also wanted coffee from Dunkin' and, she wasn't there to take my order. Somebody else took it and I placed my order and then like I'm waiting at like the other half of the counter for her to like come up. She comes up and she gives me my drinks and I go like, here you go. And I just hand her grandma and she goes, oh, like, thank you. You didn't have to come in. Like, I could have met you outside. And I was like, oh, it's fine. Like, wanted some coffees. I obviously have 2, like the other one's for Blaine. And, I left. That was that. I went in the car and he's like, you did it? And I was like, yeah, I gave her grandma. And like sit there for a second, hand him his drink. We both drink our drinks. And we see her come out and she like walks up to her car and she opens her car door, yeets grandma inside, slams her door and goes back inside to work. I lost my shit. I hope you guys think this is funny because this is one of those stories I don't get sick of telling because it really fucking happened. And I'm in disbelief. Like, how can you act like grandma means so much to you that you leave her at your ex's house. You don't realize for weeks. You don't really seem like you care that much when I didn't even have to tell her I found her grandma. Like, I'm not the one who forgot her. I should have just sprinkled grandma on like a really nice garden. I really should have done that. I feel like that, I'm glad I didn't. Like, it's not my place to do that, which is why I didn't. But she didn't even like open her door and like bend over and like place her down somewhere gently or like open a glove box. Like full on standing up, opening car door, yeet, shut, walks inside. Like, I'm sorry, grandma. I did you wrong giving you back. Maybe I could have planted her into like a rose bush or something. I don't know, guys. It's a goofy story. I have plenty of other story times that I'm really excited to tell you guys in the future. But like this one, I was really thinking about it the last couple days and I couldn't stop laughing about it. So I wanted to share it with you. If it made you laugh, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. You know what to do. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.